But speaking of narratives, too, people always ask me, they like my Let's Plays, like Marek plays Bloodlines and all that stuff. And I really need to do more of those. I do need to make more of those. But I had a great idea. Sasuke plays The Walking Dead. It's just a montage of all the saddest moments in the game with just over and over again. Or maybe even like, you bitch, you think this is bad. You don't have it as bad as me, my family died. Something like that.
What about Sasuke plays The Last of Us?
Sasuke plays The Last of Us.
Oh my god.
I don't know what he would say. Nah. This is the most realistic portrayal of my life I've ever seen.
Or Tristan plays Skyrim.
Yeah.
Tristan and Joey play Skyrim.
I want to be the guy.
It's a tough call between Kaiba or Tristan playing Skyrim because of all the dragons, of course. But it's also
How about have both?
have both.
Kaiba and Tristan do Skyrim.
Maybe Tristan's trying to tell him how to play. Does it give you super strength, Kaiba? Yes, it does. I don't have to yell like you.
My name is not Koiba.
My name is not Doty.
Grandpa plays Pac-Man.
Grandpa.
Oh, Miss Pac-Man.
Why? He just keeps going into a wall. I don't understand. Huh?
Piper plays Minecraft.
That is a popular request as well. Oh my god, Jack Rock.
Pegasus plays Amnesia.
This is the whole town now. Why Pegasus?
Playing Amnesia.
Why?
Ooh, it's a girl too.
It would be, I guess. I'm trying to think of how he would approach it. I always wanted Bakura to play Amnesia just because he would have so much fun. He wouldn't be scared, that's why it would be funny. I wanted to do an April Fool's video where Bakura convinces Marek to play Amnesia, and Bakura's like, okay, it's the best first-person shooter you've ever played, man. Just make sure you get the shotgun before you go anywhere else, okay? Where's the frigging shotgun? He ends up playing for 2 hours and gets the first black guy's like, I don't have a frigging shotgun! I'm a guy! Be myself. Be as popular as PewDiePie.
What's the most difficult episode you've had to make in terms of humor? I mean, like Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge.
Ooh, it's a tough one. I mean, I had a lot of trouble making the Yu-Gi-Oh! Bombs Beyond Time abridged movie. Not because it was oh, sorry. Everything okay? Everything good? Not because it was like a tough project like to write for, but just in general, like editing it, like coming up with voices for like Paradox and stuff, and also getting lines from other people. I don't often work with other people, like not because I don't like doing it, but just because I think it's kind of time consuming, and I feel like if I can do the voice okay myself, I feel like I'd rather the video be done quicker than it have lots of people involved. I don't know, maybe it's just the way I do things.
There was a big movie for the fan that you wanted to make it as best as you could be.
Yeah, I really wanted it to be special, and a lot of people still tell me to do that's their favorite thing that I've done. I like it. I'm surprised that it got the positive reaction that it did. I guess I should have expected that. Everything cool?
Yeah, just want to see what's wrong with it.
Oh, okay. So sweet. Any other questions? With the white thing across the top of your head.
What's your opinion on Zexon? Have you heard of card games on roller coasters?
I just realised you're Jaden, I'm sorry. Have I heard of card games on roller coasters? I have heard of why do they play a card game on a roller coaster?
It's Zexon.
Because it's Zexal. Makes about as much sense as everything else.
Jaden or Yuma?
Jaden or Yuma? Well, at least Yuma doesn't like. Well, actually, no, he does. He is annoying.
He gets less annoying.
Does he really?
Yeah, he does!
You're a liar.
What does he do that's so great that's not annoying?
He learns about friendship.
You're right, that's not annoying at all. But honestly, I think Zexal just is not for me. I've tried watching it, and the same could be said of GX. I don't really think, I'm sorry. I think they're written for a very different audience. Like, the original series, I call it the original series, but the Duel Monsters onwards stuff with Yami and everything, it seems to be aimed at a very specific audience, and I'm part of it. GX is seems to be more for a younger demographic. Maybe I'm just imagining that, but it feels a lot sillier, and I don't enjoy. I can't really identify with any of the characters in GX. I don't really feel any connection with them. 5Ds I love. Honestly, I think Yusei is probably the best protagonist the show's had. Oh. Anyway, sorry. Whereas in Zexal, how do I identify with this? They're like Looney Tunes characters, it seems. I don't know. Nothing seems grounded in reality. Like there's an alien involved, and I'm like, at least with the pharaohs, like pharaohs existed at some point. Ghosts kind of like this theory. Yes.
That makes more sense when you watch all the episodes.
See, I don't want to have to watch all the episodes to be like, oh, now I identify with it. I mean, I'm not saying that the show's bad. I don't think it's for me, unfortunately. I think it's going to be okay. I don't really think you need to deal with it, because it's like, the next video I'm showing is only like 2 minutes long, and if it happens, then it's going to be alright, don't worry about it.
Actually, I can't play very.
Oh, it's because you're using a different player?
Yeah.
Okay, I'll just do that. That works. Thank you. Okay, sweet, thank you. Hey, somebody from down here. Sora. There we go.
I've got an idea for a game.
Oh.
Last year played Animal Crossing.
There, my friends. I hope nobody shows up and murders them one day. He stops playing for 60 days, turns around, nah. He goes back in time with his turnips that he got within his pocket. Nah. Something like that. That'd be pretty funny, I like it. I thought you were going to go, I have an idea for a game. How about a game where the characters of Yu-Gi-Oh! Bridge cross over with the Disney and Final Fantasy characters, and then there's a sequel that makes no sense? That'd be pretty fun. Draco? Yes, that's very cool.
I thought I got it all wrong, but the question I was going to ask you last year, but I didn't get a chance. Have you ever, in a normal conversation, completely outside of your abridging, have you ever slipped into a character accidentally, or because it's easier to talk to them as that character?
Have I ever slipped into a character voice?
Yes, or personality, whatever.
Well, I'm in the personality of Marek whenever I get drunk. I'm being perfectly honest. Whenever I get drunk, I'm very loud, and you guys can attest to that, right?
Yes!
How many people have seen me drunk? I remember we did that panel, didn't we? It's all online. Oh my god. Are you guys coming to the late night British panel on Sunday? Give him a drink. Give him a drink. But if I don't think I've ever subconsciously like done it in like regular conversation. I like to practice the voices while I'm in the bath. It's because there's good acoustics in there. But then my wife will come in and be like, "What the fuck's going on? Why is Yami Yugi bathing you?" I use the voices in the bedroom sometimes.
Hopefully not the vagina episode. Hopefully not the vagina episode.
I kidnapped your vagina. Have you guys heard the "It's a Shame We're Not Black" story? Okay, this is like the only convention where I've not told that story. Okay.
Do it.
I'm telling you. Okay, so I'm gonna hear bloody murder from my wife for telling you this. But so we were doing things, and we were Marek and Bakura, and she was Marek and I was Bakura because she likes the Bakura voice. And I was trying to be all sexy, and I was like, "I'm going to take you into the darkness, to the shadow realm. And I'm going to take you there. It'll be so dark, and nobody will know where we are because it's dark and shadows are everywhere. It'll be black and dark like the pit of my soul, and darkness, darkness, darkness." And to her credit, what she said was very in character. She looked up at me and goes, "It's a shame we're not black." Every time I tell that story at a convention where I'm with my wife, she's usually not on the panel, because she'd punch me if I tried. But then people come up to her the next day and go, "It's a shame you're not black." And I'm always like, "Oh no."
She must put up with a lot.
She puts up with a lot, seriously. I went to an Irish convention where people were literally shoving her out of the way to get to talk to me. It was Yeah, I know, right? And like, she's a professional voice actress who's worked for 6 years, and people just ignore her. It's a real shame. I genuinely, like, I wish she got half the respect that she deserved, because she's a very beautiful, very talented, very wonderful person. Doesn't make up for saying that, telling that it's a shame.
Somebody said that to his wife.
But don't tweet that out, please. Please. Is that what is that? The wig with a...
Rogue.
Oh yeah, fantastic.
Weirdest thing that's ever happened to you at a convention.
Oh my god.
It's happening right
You
now.
could be here all day. Oh my
Someone
god.
asked what colour his nipples are.
That was one of the first weird
You
moments.
drew a picture.
No, they had a picture, you had to turn it in, remember?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but they've been asking me every year, and that was the first time they were like, we need evidence. I was tempted, honestly, for the charity auction to like Xerox pictures of my nipples and sign them, and have people bid on those, see how much they were. Yeah, that'd be weird. But
Or when Tristan and Bakura had sex. When you did 50
I was like, what? You know, one thing that was weird that I didn't notice, and this is another alcon thing. My first panel I did, I was telling you guys about a joke that I was going to do where Yami Marek said to Bakura, I've always wanted to be inside you, Bakura, or something like that. And then an episode later, Marek was going to be like, oh wait, he said that he was saying that I wanted to have sex with that guy. And I pointed over this way.
Oh yes.
There's a video.
Someone
There's a video. Someone walks in, right as I said, and goes, I wanted to have sex with that guy. He didn't even know what was going on. He was like a staff member who just walked in and just casually walked past. He didn't know what I said, and I didn't know what I'd done. So the next year, somebody put their hand up, like, and like it was just very casually. They were like, "So did you have sex with that guy?" no like context. They're just like, "Did you have sex with that guy?" And I was like, I wasn't that drunk. Oh, but there's so many weird things. Oh, you know what? This is a pretty good. I'm sure some of you have seen this video. I went to alcon this year in Texas, and I was doing a panel, and it was very innocuous, very like just like any old panel. I just was doing a Q&A and showing a video, and I'm like, everybody who wants to ask a question, line up in the front, and I'll answer your questions one by one. And this little girl walks up, and she's this little innocent-looking girl, and she looks up at me and goes, "Mr. Little Kuriboh," and I'm like, oh. And she goes, "I know you do a lot of research when you're making your videos," and I'm like, okay. And she says, I know you put a lot of like inside jokes for the Yu-Gi-Oh fandom into your series, and it's really cool that you do that. I'm like, yeah, I guess I've done that sometimes. And she says, are you going to do any jokes about, and I expect her to make some sort of reference to like Joey's drunk dad or something that I knew about that was popular in the fandom but that wasn't mainstream Yu-Gi-Oh knowledge. And she looks at me and she goes, are you going to make any jokes about Yugi having diabetes? And I was like, that happened? Apparently there is a version of the manga, I don't know if it's a fan translation or if it's an actual part of it where Yugi... It's a fan translation, yeah. Yugi collapses. And they look at... Joey looks at him and goes, oh man, do you need your insulin, you? So I guess some people believe that Yugi has diabetes. And there was also an interview with Takahashi or something where he says something about Yugi having some sort of condition. But I don't remember. But anyway, I exploded. I was like, what? And like this turned into a running joke throughout the entire panel about Yugi's diabetes. To the point where people were bringing me their insulin injectors to sign. So that was the thing that happened. I don't think what else weird stuff has happened. Because there are a lot of great stories, and I wish I could tell all of them, but they always slip my mind, and I'm sorry about that. I hope lots of weird stuff happens this weekend. I've done a few over here. Well, let's go over here. Yeah, go ahead.
Have you ever tried to explain to Mario's family what you do online?
To whose family?
To your wife's family?
To my wife's family?
Yeah.
Oh. Well, they know. They watched it. They actually really like it. They actually brag about me a lot. Because their teachers and their students all watch Yu-Gi-Oh! Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and so they're always very like, whoa, your daughter's married to that guy? That's crazy. My parents don't know a thing about it. I'm trying to keep it, I mean, they know I do something on the internet. I'm trying to keep it, their knowledge to a minimum, because if they ever went online and searched for like little Kuriboh panel videos, they'd hear about me having sex with my wife and talking about how we wish we were black. But yeah. Also drunk me, I don't want them to see that. They still believe I'm a very innocent, like, I don't think
Oh, shit!
that was great, that was an extended bullshit! But yeah, my parents don't really know, they know that I'm a big deal, I guess. They're very proud of me for doing, making my way over to America and marrying Mariana. But I don't think they've ever seen a single episode, or I don't think they understand what I do. I think even if I try to explain it to them, they won't understand it. But yeah, I'm proud of what I do. So.
Tell me you're a comedian.
Huh?
Tell me you're a comedian.
That's a good idea. Yeah, that makes sense. Somebody else down here, right there.
In your videos sometimes, like in the Naruto spoof series.
Yes.
Yugi suddenly pops on the screen.
Mhm.
How do you do that? Because I'm trying to make my own bridge series and
How do you make the characters pop on screen or edit them into the video?
Yeah, you
Video
like.
editing software.
You need a Photoshop. I mean, this is how I do it.
Is it like with a picture or?
Yeah, it's literally a picture. Like a lot of the stuff that you see in the videos is just pictures that I've edited.
Yes.
Like when they're talking, it's just me drawing around the mouths and then making the mouths move while the picture's still, usually.
I need to do that.
Yeah. It's hard to get your head around it, but when you do, it's really easy. It's
Do you
just time
like draw it
consuming.
frame by frame then?
I mean, what I do is, for the lip flaps at least, I take the still image of the person who's talking and I move the video forward until the mouth is slightly open and I take a screenshot of that. And then when the mouth is fully open, I take a screenshot of that and then I just cut around those and I make a separate layer with the mouths on their own. For characters, what I used to do is I would take just a screenshot of the character with the lip flaps as well as separate layers, and I would delete the background around them and I would just stick them and I'd move them around. With the right software, it's really easy to make characters like just jump up like that. It's kind of a hokey trick, but
What software do you use?
the software I use is Sony Vegas 11 for video editing, and Audacity for audio, and obviously Photoshop for
Premiere's
image
best.
editing. Hmm?
Premiere's best.
People tell me, I've never tried it. I just go with what I have. So I'd love to try Premiere at some point. Over here again. Way at the back there.
Me?
Yes.
Yes. I was wondering, since at least you can review the episode 0 of Yu-Gi-Oh! So you did the manga instead. Have you read the manga and know the differences between the anime and the manga, and which do you prefer?
I mean, I actually have done a few Season 0 abridged episodes since the review I made, which I'm very proud of. But the manga, I have read the manga, and I've seen the anime. But I actually prefer the manga in some ways. I think the manga tackles the aspect of Yugi discovering his powers and the Pharaoh and all that. I think it tackles it a lot better than Season 0 did. Season 0 got very, very goofy. It felt like a really dark episode of, like, I go back to Looney Tunes, but Season 0 was like, wow, this wacky kid and his adventures, and sometimes Kaiba shows up and he's got a mask on, he's pretending to be somebody else, and obviously green hair, that's another part of it. Pharaoh set someone on fire, but in the anime version, that's a hallucination, but in the manga, he does set somebody on fire, right?
Yeah.
So, in my opinion, like, the way they handle that stuff is much better. Also, the comic relief stuff in the anime with Tristan and Miho, I don't really enjoy that stuff. I mean, I guess it's a cultural thing, but I don't really think it's funny when people fall down randomly. I don't know. But in the manga, Tristan and Miho is only a very brief part because she's just ribbon. She's ribbon girl in that. And it's that really beautiful story where he writes the note for her, telling her that he loves her in the jigsaw, and then Yugi takes credit for it, and then he gives it to her at the end, and there's that moment, and she rejects him, I think. Well, obviously because they're not together. But it's a nice little story. Whereas in the anime, it's all like, whoa, it's goofy Tristan, he's an idiot, and it's like,
He deserves some love.
exactly, he does, and I feel like the manga treated him much better than that. So
He was serious in the manga.
exactly, Tristan was he wasn't like always serious. Like he's kind of goofy when like he's running. Wasn't he like a zombie at one
But he
point?
wasn't like an idiot.
Yeah.
Didn't he become a zombie and then he chases like Joey and stuff around? Shawty possesses him or something like that. But I mean, that's the closest he comes to being a truly goofy character, I think. I just enjoyed the way they told that story much better in the moment.
Because there are lots of more darker aspects in. I mean, there's a moment where if Yugi loses, they have to cut off his legs. I mean, such things happen in the manga, well, it doesn't in the anime. So I just wondered if you like the dark part of it.
We're talking about differences between the manga and like the dub anime. I enjoy the dub. I give it a lot of flack, but I fell in love with that show by watching the dub, honestly. And the same could be said of a lot of really silly dubs. Some of them are charming, and I think the Yu-Gi-Oh one is actually kind of charming. But I'll always prefer the original to something that is a modification of the original. That's the way I feel. Let's go right here.
On your fanfiction.net account.
Oh my goodness.
You had a story with Yugi and Yami. Are you going to continue?
I did. Spirit, right? Spirit. The story's called Spirit.
Yeah.
I started writing this story that starts with Yugi dying in a fire, and then dying in a fire. There you go.
Jerry didn't kick hard enough. Jerry didn't kick hard enough.
No, we didn't kick hard enough. It was actually a different fire. It was a fire at the school or something. And the story, I love. This is something I always do with my writing, and I've only just recently started noticing it. I love putting, and I do it with my videos too. You'll see it later in my video that you'll see at the end of the panel. But I like putting the viewer or the reader in a position where they think they're experiencing one thing at the beginning, and then it takes you a complete 180, and it's like, this is what you're actually seeing or reading or experiencing. I did it in the Spirit fanfic where Yugi is actually in the afterlife. He's between worlds and he's in limbo, but you think that he's just in a forest, and you think that, oh, he's just chilling out, he's lost and what's going on, and then you realize, oh, he can actually touch the fairy, he can interact with him, and oh, he's dead. So I really enjoyed writing that, but I think I went a bit off the rails with some of the stuff in the afterlife. So I'd like to come back to it and try rewriting it, and I really want to be a writer in general. I was talking to somebody on the train on the way up to Alcon about publishing a book. And he was telling me how easy, he wasn't saying it was easy, he was just saying it was a lot cheaper than I thought that it would be. So I'd like really to get a book published, like in the near future. I genuinely love writing, and even if it isn't a Yu-Gi-Oh thing, I feel passionately about a lot of different things, and I'd love to write a book. That's pretty cool. Yeah.